and welcome to another episode of Wannabe Entrepreneur, the podcast about what it's like to bootstrap a company. My name is Tiago, your host, and today I have such a great news for you that it makes me really happy. My website, the official Wannabe Entrepreneur website, is live. As you know, yesterday I went through the process of building the website with you, and actually even yesterday night and today I was able to deploy it. And today I want to speak a little bit about how I deployed a website completely for free, the tools I used, and I also want to speak a little bit more about the website, what are my goals, how I'm trying to make it more SEO friendly, etc. I know there's still a lot of things that I need to learn, but I think there are also a couple that I already learned with my previous websites and experiences that I think can be really valuable for you. And first of all, I want to say that I did again a build in public approach. So I basically have a Twitter thread where I'm writing in each tweet, each step I did to publish my website. And let's get started. So, first of all, as I told you before, I am using Netlify. Netlify is such a great platform because it allows you to automate all the deployments. So, first of all, even before Netlify, you have to open your GitHub account and you create a repository. You can create private repositories. I still remember the time that GitHub was only for public repositories, and that's why back then I was using Bitbucket. Now I'm actually using GitHub because it allows you to create these private repos for free. And just create the repository and push your Hugo code to that repo. It's very simple. And then open your Netlify. Sign up if you haven't already. And actually, there is a great tutorial from Hugo that explains how you can actually host your website on Netlify. It's very simple. And you can just sign up with GitHub and you say, I want to connect with my GitHub account, my GitHub repository. You decide which repository on GitHub you want to give access to Netlify. And from then on is almost just click. And Netlify is it tries to deploy the website, the Hugo website. I'm not going to lie, it won't work out of the box. There was always small details. I had a problem because I think the error that I had going was that Netlify was not able to find the Git module. So when you, as you remember from the previous episode, you install your Hugo skeleton and then you download or you clone the theme you want to use, and this clone is also a GitHub or a Git repo. So you end up having two Git repos. So what I do is I go inside the theme and I delete that repo. And there was some issues, and because of that theme was not being pushed to GitHub, I was able to solve it. So it might require a little bit of Googling and a little bit of trying to figure out what are the problems. But after that, I was ready and I just pushed and everything worked fine. And then the website was live and was ready. I already have basically the configurations, the Netlify configurations. You need to copy paste a file, Netlify file, and paste it in the root directory of your repo. Again, you just follow this tutorial. I will share it also, the tutorial link, and it's very simple. After that, I already had my domain set up, the wannabe entrepreneur podcast. Wait, what was my wannabe-entrepreneur.com? That's the correct one. So I already had this domain. I bought it with GoDaddy. Before it was just forwarding the user to Red Circle, which is my host, but now I want to forward it to my website. So it's very simple too. You just go to, I think it is manage your domains on Netlify, and you just add your domain. And in GoDaddy, what you just need to do is to create a record and point your your domain to the Netlify load balancer. They give you the IP and everything, so it's very simple. And from then on, it's done. Then you can access your website. I will, of course, advise you to have HTTPS SSL certificate, and Netlify also makes it super easy. You can use your own, or you can let Netlify create a certificate with Let's Encrypt that works super fine. You just have to basically go there to the SSL section and click on create certificate. You wait a little bit, and then it's ready. And yes, you can access now the Wannabe Entrepreneur podcast on or rather the Wannabe Entrepreneur website on wannabe-entrepreneur.com, and you will see the website. I'm super happy with the results. And then I released the website. I released it to the world, and I asked for feedback, and I immediately got feedback from Wolfgang. You know him already. I spoke with him so many times here in the podcast, and he told me that he would like to have a link for each episode directly, so that instead of linking, let's say, Spotify or Red Circle or iTunes, I can link the website. And I thought, okay, that's a great idea, but how am I going to do this? I don't want to create manually static pages for every podcast or every episode. So what I thought was, okay, I have an idea here. I don't know if you're familiar on how podcasts and how RSS protocol, I don't know if it's a protocol, works, but it's very interesting. So it's used also for bloggers, by the way. If you have a blog, you can also use this. It's kind of a link that is generated and is always looking for news. For every time you update, in this case in the podcast, every time I update and I push a new episode, this XML content, so this link, this RSS link that opens basically an XML content, is updated. And if you have some kind of system that is always looking for changes in this RSS link, it will always update and get the newest episode. So that's basically how podcasting is able, or how I may be able to distribute my podcast through Spotify and iTunes and all the podcasting platforms. So what I do is I host my podcast on Red Circle. They generate an RSS link, and then I just copy paste this RSS link to all of these other platforms, and these other platforms have a system that are always looking for news. So I thought, okay, I can just use this RSS link and crawl it and generate automatically all the static pages, so that I don't have 100, almost 50 episodes, right? I don't want to go and create 150 page manually. So that's what I did. I created a little Python script that basically crawls this link, parses it, and generates a markdown page that matches with a Hugo content. So it took me a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours to do this, but it was worth it, because now if you go to the website wannabe-entrepreneur.com and click on episodes, you have a list of more than 150 episodes. And that's great, because everything is static pages. And why is this great? I bet there's a couple of you already, the SEO experts, that understand this, because it's much easier for Google to crawl it. So Google can easily go to the show notes, because, by the way, I'm not only copying the episode links, I'm also copying the show notes, and Google can easily crawl all of this. So if you have a dynamic content, for instance, I remember back in Trivago, we use React, and React basically, it's JavaScript and generates the content dynamically. It's much harder for Google to crawl it. But if everything is static, then Google can just crawl it. So I'm super happy with it. Now, every time I release a new episode, automatically it also gets released to my blog, to my website, and it gets crawled by Google. So I'm really hoping that this will allow me to get a recurrent source of new users without having to put too much effort into building like the effort I put on the Twitter and so on. So just have a look in the website. I am really happy with it. When you open it, you have the main page. I have what I call the top episodes, which are basically some blog posts that I wrote about the episodes that are kind of an extended version of these episodes. And if you then go to episodes itself, you have all the episodes with the show notes. It's much easier also now for me to share it with my listeners. So, and I'm also thinking actually on adding commenting area. Let me know what you think of it, actually, to add a commenting area where people can actually comment on each episode individually. Let me know if you'd be interested on that via Twitter, or just send me a message. I would be very interested in knowing that. And besides that, I just also connected with Google Analytics so that I can check how many people are on the website, what pages are people actually looking the most. And I also connected it with the SEO console. So Google has an SEO console. You just search on Google for SEO console and you'll find it. And then you can link your website with this console. You just also have to do an adjustment on your GoDaddy DNS. They basically explain you how to do it. It's very simple, and it's really nice because it tells you what are the keywords that are working the most for you. And I'm excited to see the results. It takes a while for Google to crawl everything, so it might take 1 or 2 days, but I'm super excited with that. So yeah, I would love to get your feedback. I want to understand if people open the website and immediately understand what it is about, if it's interesting, if they just want to also read the content I have. I might actually do a Rust my website, or like give me feedback on website in one of the future episodes. So yeah, this was the content for today. I hope you found it interesting. You already know you can go to wannabe-entrepreneur.com and check the website. The link will be in the description. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to share it with your friends, and of course buy me a coffee, and the link of all of this will be in the description. This was another Wannabe Entrepreneur. See you tomorrow.